So, besides the fact that the Segesser hide paintings are a pretty cool artifact from the 1700s in New Mexico, they give us a unique lens into the story of the Villa Sur expedition, as well as relationships between Spanish colonists and different groups of indigenous peoples at that time. What we were kind of focusing on here in this particular discussion was the issue of the digitization of um, historical documents and historical artifacts. So there's always this question of, what is lost when that happens, when things are digitized? How are they sort of taken out of context because of that digitization? So an example that I think of and the kind of work that I do with the history of the New Mexico-Chihuahua border, um, it's easy to look at digitized newspapers from the late 19th century. You can do key term searches, so I can look for specific things that I want to find out about, and I don't have to sift through and read through the papers. Don't even have to skim through them that much because I'm taken directly to what I want. The problem with that potentially is that I don't get the context of what was going on in small communities like Columbus and Palomas, as tiny border towns, because I haven't been kind of reading the bigger stories about what was going on. Right? I can pick out stories that from the newspaper that address the specific topics that I'm looking at. Again, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes that can be very helpful. But we have to be careful about the ways that digitization might remove us from the kind of physical context, not just the physical, but the social, political contexts of the histories that we want to study and think about. And so maybe that helps us think a little bit more deeply about uh, why it's so important to see the Segesser hide paintings in person, physically, um, what other pieces of evidence we might want to see to give context to those to help us better understand them. And so for this one, if you want some extra credit, just respond here in this thread, create a reply to this post. You can earn up to 100 points depending on how thorough you are. Um, so let me give you the prompt. What you should do is we're trying to think more deeply about the implications of the digital for the study of history. So you can do one of two things here to earn up to 100 points. The first option, you can either find a scholarly article about the way that digitized documents impact the way that we do history. As a starting point, the historian named Laura Putnam wrote a good one of these. 2016 was published in the American Historical Review. So you can look at that one if you want to, or you can find a different one, a different article that's similar. But share the article in the reply. Share the citation information, the title, the author, all of that, and then write a response to that article. What does the article teach you about the ways that the digital is impacting historical research, and how can you apply ideas from that article to the study of the Segesser hide paintings? So to do that well, you will need to pull out specific information from the article, cited information, can be direct quotes or paraphrases, and then explain in your own words how that information will help you think about the Segesser hide paintings and about digital sources. So that's one option. And again, if you just identify an article, say a couple of general things about that, you'll earn some points. So no matter what you write, you'll earn something for it. The extent to which you're thorough in your thinking will get you up to that 100 points for extra credit. So that's option one. Option two would be to find another digitized primary source preferably from some aspect of New Mexico history, something that relates to New Mexico history, and write an evaluation of that source. So something similar to what you did for the Segesser hide paintings. Explain what the source is, add as much context as you can to explain what event that source helps us understand, and then write about the implications of it having been digitized. why, even if it's a piece of paper, why might you want to see the physical piece of paper? What other sources would you also want to see to go along with it? Was it taken out of a larger collection? So is it sort of out of context? Um, those are the kinds of questions to think about. And so I'll write a briefer prompt for each of those options beneath this video. And please let me know if you have any questions. I'll talk to you soon.